Well, good morning, everyone. Chris here. It's Tuesday, February 11th. About minus 14 here at the house, Fort Fairfield. I didn't get out this weekend fishing. Things kind of didn't work out. We actually thought it was supposed to be miserable cold and blowing again, and we said the heck with it. We're not going to go up to Long Lake and hope that we get on the salmon. But we're all loaded, get the snowmobile and things all loaded for Moosehead. We are leaving Thursday, coming back Monday. So we're coming back Sunday, I guess. So we get to drive down in the snowstorm and drive back in another one. So, but whatever. Got a whole pile of buddies. We rented a cabin at Wilson's on Moosehead, and looking forward to it. Haven't been to Moosehead Lake in, 20 years, I guess. But I figured I would maybe take this time. You guys are good enough to watch the channel and don't really know much about me, so I thought maybe I'd take a few minutes and just kind of explain where I come from and why I'm doing this. We actually were going to head to Central Maine last weekend. It was the first plan, do some crappie fishing, but that didn't pan out. So we were going to go up to Long at my smelt camp, maybe spend the night there fishing. Just decided against it. Took a break, I suppose. But again, we're really looking forward to the Moosehead trip, and I'm going to try. They say it's going to be quite stormy and lots of wind again, so we'll get what we can and hopefully put some footage together of some good catches. I'd like to get into those big brook trout I keep hearing about up there, but I really like togue fishing too, so we'll see what happens. I guess there's no reason for me to walk around outside and talk to you. This cold, 14 below stuff. No wind though. That's a nice change. But I'm gonna head inside where it's warm and we'll do a fireside chat without the fire. Pellet stove is the best I can do. We'll see you in a bit. Well, okay, guys. I don't know if this is something you'd be interested in or not, but like I said, I didn't go fishing this weekend, and I want to keep content going on the channel, so I figured it would be a good time as any to just do a little chat and kind of explain who I am and where I came from, whatever. So I was raised right here in Aroostook County, Presque Isle. I spent all my time in Presque Isle from K to, I think, 8th grade. I don't remember. Moved to Fort Fairfield with my grandparents right here in this same place I'm in right now for high school. Fresh out of high school, I 89 moved to Bangor. Actually to Levant, the town of Levant, Central Maine there, and worked for a small residential contractor out of Levant for a couple of years, pouring concrete. He had an old set of forms on an old Ford flatbed truck. Anybody that knows concrete work is hard work. And if you're doing it off a flatbed truck and lugging them in, lugging them out, it'll make a man out of you in a hurry. It was pretty tough, but after a couple years with him, I went to work learned the trade, form carpenter. Went to work for Don Pelletier out of Herman and D&D Concrete Construction. Started as his foreman at 20 years old, and I moved back home here to this place in 2001. So I guess I spent 12 years down there. Just wanted to come home, missed it. But while I was down there, I met a bunch of great friends. I had never hunted or fished or anything, and met a good bunch of buddies down there that got me into all that. Anybody that knows me knows that when I jump into something, I go in with both feet every time. But I wound up with red-bone coonhounds and a bunch of beagles and ice fishing. I got hooked on ice fishing back then because we had most of our time off was in the winter time. Had a shack. My first shack went on Dexter up to Wassakeg, and then for several years I had a shack on Stetson Pond. We just liked it was close to home, and I think we had a shack out there for at least 5, maybe 6 winters. But when we wanted to go salmon or togue fishing, it was always up to Moosehead. A few times, I think, can't remember if it was Green or Brant, somewhere down there on the Bar Harbor Road. But like I said, great bunch of friends I met down there. And when I moved back home, I run a concrete crew, P&M Construction in Presque Isle for like 7 years. And first, and then I actually poured a 22,000 square foot floor in the new public works building up on the Presque Isle, the old Presque Isle Air Base. And I met the director there. And he offered me a job. So actually that spring I went to work for him as an equipment operator. And a few years later, they put me in charge of the place. So I think I was over there for, 15 years or so. But that was 15 years of Aroostook County winters. And in the public works game, you have no life in the winter. So I didn't ice fish for 17 years. And, I decided I had enough of the public works thing, and I wound up starting my own company. I think it was spring of 23 at 51 years old. Just small residential stuff that there was kind of a void in the industry up here. All the big contractors wanted to do big commercial stuff, and I don't blame them. But that was kind of part of the reason I got done concrete was the big commercial stuff, because I couldn't stand all the OSHA shit, and they'd have you couldn't, safety glasses and hard hats and gloves, and I just couldn't work like that. And I understand why they have it, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. But I bought some equipment in spring of 23, sweet old truck, international truck, and a couple trial machines and a screed, and a trailer full of tools, and went to work. But then fall of 23, I started having some health issues, and took them most of the summer this year, or 24, to figure out what was wrong with me. But I continued to pour concrete until August. Completed everything that I had bid and got and committed to. But had a couple clogged carotid arteries in your neck. It's not a good thing. They had me pretty much convinced that they weren't going to be able to do anything, and if they did try to do anything, that I wasn't going to make it through it. But finally found a doctor, come in from another state, and they fixed me up on my left side, so I got good blood flow again to my squash. right side's jammed up so bad that they don't want to touch it. They think that they'd kill me. But that's kind of the reason I started this channel, actually, was just to give my wife a few things to look back on, because I honestly didn't think that I was going to come through this deal, but I did. And you know, things are getting better, good enough where I think I might even start bidding concrete again this spring, so, which would be good. And I got a few local farmers here up that I can work for, whatever. We'll do what we got to do. But anyway, when I got 4 or 5 years ago, I started watching YouTube, and I was watching ice fishing, Joe Holland. Everybody's heard of him. Outdoors with Aaron. Several others. Jay Siemens there out of Canada, I think, and really got interested in the ice camping. I guess it was probably 4 years ago. And of course, I jumped in with both feet and started fishing again, and kind of reconnected with all the guys from down in central Maine, and geez, it's been a hell of a time. So, but it's been kind of fun doing it, so I thought maybe I'd continue. I've got a long way to go to ever be really. Editing is a challenge. I'm working at it, but it'll take me some time for sure. But anyway, that's kind of my backstory, I guess. Hopefully this, summertime obviously is gonna be a lot less time for me to do this, but my wife and I like to do like overland camping with the side-by-side. We'll throw all our gear in it and head up to Allagash or whatever and camp for a weekend, or jump on the motorcycle and head south, or up Jackman Way or wherever. We have a good time. We do a lot of things. We either that or haul them somewhere, go down to Shin Pond, ride the wheelers for the weekend with my family, and tent out and just have a good time. That's all. So hopefully this helps you understand why I wound up into this YouTube deal, and I hope to do a bunch more. So we're headed to, as I said, we're headed to Moosehead this weekend. I was looking forward to it. I reserved the cabin in like late August, I think. So obviously you can't predict the weather. Of course, it's going to be a rough one again for us. So, but we're getting used to it now. Holy cow! It's been some of our trips. It's been pretty cold and brutal. The wind. We're going to get it all, including a couple snowstorms through this one. But looking forward to it. Putting some. Hopefully, we'll get some footage. Get into the fish. And I'd really like to slam one of them big brook trout that I keep seeing everyone slamming on YouTube. But I also have a hard time not to set out for togue. It looks pretty shallow in front of Wilson's, looking at the Navionics. But I know that I've caught togue in shallow water before. But I might go on tour maybe Saturday and drag my flip over shack with me and head up towards Rockwood somewhere and fish for some togue. It's always fun catching them things. But and I got to give a shout out to a man I met January Derby, Long Lake Fishing Derby in January of 24. Joe Osgood Jr., great guy. He's got an awesome channel, really family oriented. FBM Maine Outdoor Journal, I believe it's called. And he's helped me out anytime I've ever messaged him with a question about GoPros or even fishing spots. The guy is top shelf. He's always he always responds and does anything he can to help you out. But anyway, we'll let you go for now, and hopefully I can get enough footage this coming weekend to throw on the channel for next week's video. Take care, and we'll see you next time.